A vocalist claims that after reporting sexual attacks at concerts, she received feedback that made her realize how widespread the issue is. Irish punk band Sprint's Carla Chubb posted a statement online claiming that she was touched by a fan during a gig in Belfast on Saturday. Actors from the UK and the USA responded to their post with their own stories, causing a big stir. It happens right before a meeting of UK members of Parliament to talk about misogyny in music. Carla claims that she was molested twice on the band's debut album tour when someone touched her chest during their performance at Ulster Sports Club. "I should be able to get off the stage at my own show without fear of being groped," she claims. Carla explained to BBC Newsbeat that she recognized she wasn't being dramatic and didn't make it up once supporters brought attention to what had occurred. "I think any woman who's experienced any kind of assault or harassment is almost like, are people gonna think I've had one too many drinks, and I've made it up?" says she. "Or perhaps he didn't mean it, I'm simply exaggerating, or something else entirely. But I was really annoyed by it. A horrifyingly consistent experience." Carla admits that she was apprehensive to make the band's statement public, but her decision has brought attention to a larger problem. She gave up her legal right to remain anonymous in order to speak with BBC Newsbeat about sexual assault. "Thankfully the response has been 99%, incredibly, overwhelmingly positive," she continues. "And also, terrifyingly, a uniform experience, I think, for a lot of female performers. Many artists," she says, "have reached out to provide support and to share their tales. I won't name the acts because many of them messaged in private, but a ton of acts have contacted me from the US to the UK. However, a lot of individuals are speaking up. Many of the male performers, who are also our label mates, are speaking up, and our collaborators are undoubtedly demonstrating solidarity." The Police Service of Northern Ireland (PSNI) informed BBC Newsbeat that they were looking into a report of a sexual assault that occurred on Saturday at a pub in Belfast's High Street neighbourhood. They are urging witnesses to come forward, believing that it may have happened sometime between 2030 and 2200. The British government is aware of the issue of misogyny in the music business. A report on the subject was published in January by the Women and Equalities Committee, WEC, a group of members of parliament from various parties who advise the government on a particular matter. The conclusions, which came from an investigation that began in 2022, forewarned that the sector was a boys' club with a culture of silence about abuse. Former Radio 1 DJ Annie Mac testified at a public hearing, saying there was a tidal wave of sexual assault allegations in the music industry that was just waiting to be shared. The WEC claims it failed to accept a set of wide-ranging recommendations intended to better protect women in the industry, and it is scheduled to meet again later to debate the government's response. Caroline Noakes, a Conservative MP and chair of the committee, tells Newsbeat that Carla's account hasn't remotely surprised her. "My message to the government is you need to get serious about the safety of women," she continues. "Wherever people work, whether they are self-employed, freelancers, or are working late at night, you need to make sure they are safe. It shouldn't matter, they need to be safe." According to Ms. Noakes, the group is advocating for the government to outlaw non-disclosure agreements in situations involving sexual harassment and assault. Signing one of these legal agreements, which are also known as non-disclosure agreements or NDAs, binds the signatory to a promise not to discuss the subject in public. Some people think that those in positions of authority utilize them to hide wrongdoing. According to Ms. Noakes, NDAs are prohibited in higher education but not in other fields. "And so I will continue to pursue ministers over this because what our report did is gave confidence to other women to speak out," she states. "We must stand behind people like Carla who may have spoken silently in the past. Additionally, we must observe the change. All women should be able to work free from misogyny and discrimination," the government told BBC Newsbeat. To guarantee this, the government has committed to additional laws to address the misuse of NDAs and has given workers strong legal rights. "We carefully considered the Women and Equalities Committee's recommendations and in our response have made clear that the music industry must do all it can to address power imbalances and ensure its workplaces are safe and supportive environments for all."